Now let's work on the metal that makes up the hand grip, trigger, and these pieces up here. Let's go ahead and create a new group. And we'll call this metal grip for hand grip there. Now for this, let's try another material. Let's try this steel rust and wear. This looks interesting. Let's drag that in and drop it on the metal grip group. It's going to apply it to everything, of course, and then we'll right-click on the group, choose Add Mask with Color Selection, click Pick Color, and we'll click on the red color here. Now, let's do a little work about trying to get this to be a little more similar. It looks like it's a little too shiny, and it may be a little bit the wrong color. Let's see what we can do. I'll select this steel rust and wear. And for the color, we're not too far off. We're in a blue area, but I'm going to click and hold on the eyedropper here, kind of move over to one of these areas here, something like this, let's say. And that made it a little green. Let's bring it back to the blue, like that. And maybe a little bit darker. Let's see. That's not bad. It may be a little too dark and a little bit too shiny, so let's grab the metal roughness and increase it. Increase the roughness just a bit. Something like that. I still feel like it's a little too dark. I'll bring the value up just a little bit more. See how that works. There we go. That blends in a little better. I like the little hints of wear and scratches there. That's kind of nice. There's another iron rust in here. Let me see if I can find that one. Here we go. This one here. Let's try this. So I'm going to drag this on top of that material. Then I'll right click, choose Add Black Mask. Then on that black mask I'll right click and choose Add Generator. And from our generators, let's choose the edge wear again. Let's try that. I'll invert it, and then that's not looking too bad. Let's go ahead and reduce it quite a bit, down pretty far here, something like that. I think that might give just enough wear. Alright, so now we have a little bit of wear on those materials. I can press the Shift key and hold down the right mouse button and kind of move the light around here just to get a sense of what it's going to look like. That's looking pretty good. Let's now work on this handle here. I'll create a whole new group, call it Handle. And for this I want another color. I think it was kind of a wood color, but I don't have really a wood material that doesn't have wood grain in it. So I think what I'm going to do is choose this sci-fi artificial leather. It's kind of an odd choice, I know, but sometimes we can make a material work for this kind of thing. I'll click and drag it up here into the handle group. So there it is, and while I've got it here, I'm going to go ahead and play with it while I can see it pretty well. I'll go back to height, and I'll take the linear dodge down quite a bit because I want it to be pretty smooth. In fact, I may just take it down to 0 here. I want to change the color, so I'm going to need to use my eyedropper here, so I'll go ahead and add a mask with color selection and click Pick Color and choose that orange there. Now let's go back to it and change this color. I'll click on the eyedropper and hold and bring it over here. So we get a little bit darker color here, maybe something like this. Once again, I'll take that back up to the blue range because that's kind of where we are for all of our materials. And that doesn't look too bad, although I don't like how glossy it is. We could maybe get rid of the roughness map here by just clicking the X and getting rid of that. And now we have a slider that we can increase the roughness here. Something like that, so it kind of broadens out the specular highlights there. Something like that. Maybe a little bit too dark. Let me go back to the color and bring it up just a bit. There we go. Yeah, something like that. Also, we need these tiny pieces in here. So let's create one more group. Call this, let's just call this steel. And for this, I'll grab that steel rough material again and just drag that in there. Add a mask with color selection. Click pick color, and I'll just grab that little color right there. There we go. Now it's a little bit too bright, I think. I'll choose the steel material and bring the value down quite a bit so it isn't quite so bright there. All right, there we go. Now the last part is this piece here. And let's quickly talk about going to a substance source to get our materials. If you are subscribed to Substance Painter, then you have the option of downloading new materials from that site. So you can access that right here with this icon and just click, and it will open up a browser and take you to the Substance Source website. Now here we've got a lot to choose from, but what I want is fabric. And I want to create a fabric camouflage like on our reference image. Something like this. So let's just click here and then download it, and it'll go straight into our downloads. Now we can go back to Substance Painter, click on Import Resources, and here we can click Add Resources, and in my downloads here is the military camouflage. We need to define what it is. It's going to be a base material, and we need to tell it if we want it just in this current session, or we want it in the shelf for all time, or we want it in our project. I think I'll choose in my project here. I'll click Import, and there it is here. So let's go ahead and create a new group. We'll call this Camo, and I'll drag it right into that group. There it is. That looks pretty good. I'll add a mask with color selection, pick that color, and there we go. And that doesn't look too bad. However, there is one problem here. If we zoom in here, these pieces right here that were picked up in the normal map are now being covered by the camo. And if you recall, these need to be the same material as this plastic here. So how do we do that? Now we could create a new paint layer here, right here, and we could go to our color and we could change the color. We could grab our eyedropper and come in here and find a color that we want, maybe something like this, and then we could come in and we could paint that. I'll reduce the size and we could paint that right on there. The problem is the texture still comes through. The height map from the camo still comes through. Now I could turn off the height or reduce the linear dodge on the actual material here, but then I'd lose some of that nice texture that we have going on there. So what do? Well, I want to go over real quickly in the next video the benefits of Substance Painter when you have to make an adjustment like this. What I'd like to do is go back to Blender and add these pieces as geometry, and then re-UV map it and bring it back in. And I want to show you how easy it can be to reapply the materials once we've created them. So that's coming up next.